Hey there, guys and horror fans. I'm back, Ivo Remo time for live. And welcome to my ranking of my favorite horror franchise, A Nightmare on Elm Street. And of course, I do have poster of the part 4 right here. Part 3 is right here in the first one. But let's just start ranking. I did now reviewed and I did a savage rant on A Nightmare on Elm Street. The remake, I watched it last night. So you already know number 9 is already I'm just talking about. And that's the remake. It's a shitty excuse of a lame film. This movie was butchered. This movie was raped in the ass by Samuel Bayer and Wes Strick, and that movie just sucked. I did a long rant, almost 40 minutes long. It's uploading on YouTube now. But yes, to me, this is the worst movie I have ever seen. I watched it like 3 hours. It took me last night till I finished it. So yes, it sucked. That movie sucked. It's a no good movie. It's a piece of shit movie. I don't know where did I actually put the Blu-ray for the film. I can't find it where it is. It's just so horrible film. It's just awful film. It's just shitty film. It's awful film. If you want to know more my thoughts on the film, you can just find it. But everything that the film does not fit right. It's not everything about the film. It sucks. It's a piece of shit. It just sucks. It does not feel right. I think it's just a lame excuse of a film. A lame street, completely rape street or lame street, both of them. And Rooney Mara is horrible actress. She's so awful. But she's not the one that destroyed the film for me. Jackie Haley fucked up the film. He destroyed it with his irritating, horrible voice. His voice is so horrible and his makeup is horrible, but his voice is goddamn awful. It's horrible. And they stole most of the scenes they actually stole from this film and Freddy vs. Jason. They stole from those 2 films that I love to death. They stole most of the scenes. The lines are stolen from Freddy vs. Jason. When Nancy she's in this ugly room on the finale, and when Freddy goes up her, on her, he probably tries to rape her, and he says, "Your eyes says no, but your body says yes." That was stolen from Freddy vs. Jason. I forgot to mention also that Freddy also says, "I'm your boyfriend now." He also stole from the original. Or the ceiling, Fred's ceiling, that was stolen from the original. And also the ceiling was a lame CGI. It wasn't practical like was in the original. It was a lame CGI. So yes, it sucked. It was a lame CGI. It fucking sucked, everything. Whole movie was trash. The only thing that I liked was the diner scene, the open scene, and Kate Cassidy as Chris when she was on the screen. She carried the movie on, but then when she gets killed, everything just jumps into a dog shit. Whole movie turns into a dog shit. It's boring. The pacing's all over the place. It's lame. It's horrible. It's horrible for watching, especially if you're a huge fan of Nightmare on Elm Street. It's not that's how it's done. And Freddy in this movie is now a rapist. He's a fucking a pedophile, a child molester, a pedophile. He raped kids in the fucking ass. And so we should just stay around. Done. The company was so offended by this movie. It took them 3 years. They actually then decided to do another horror movie that was The Purge. It took them 3 years. They were so offended by this film. And Wes Strick wrote this fucking script and he ruined it. And Samuel Bayer fucked up. I'd rather watch The Hills Have Eyes 2006 remakes the best one. Or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Those 2 are the best one. They're the best one and I'm gonna review them, both of them. But I love A Nightmare on Elm Street. I love the original. I love part 3. I always wear in my reviews a t-shirt Just you can see when is this angle. There's a poster, of part 3. I love this franchise. Big fan. And like I said, it's my favorite horror film of all time. It's my number 1 in the horror franchise. In number 2, I would still say John Carpenter's The Thing. I reviewed that movie. Number 3, Stephen King's Graveyard Shift. I think it's fucking underrated. Number 4, Friday the 13th Part 2. And number 5, right here, I have wear a t-shirt and Nightmare on Elm Street 3. Those are my top 5 favorite horror films of all time. Sadly, this remake was a lame excuse, just a cash grab, They just stole. So they actually got what? 11. They actually, the budget cost $35 million. Yet they earned $150 million. It was successful. Yet they went behind Wes Craven's back, fucked up the original, and yeah, it was heavy criticism because they deserve it. Because this remake is a pile of shit, dog shit. It's not even a pile of shit. So shitty this movie was. It took me 3 hours last night to finish it. Yeah, I watched it on computer, I downloaded it because I don't know where I put the remake. But fuck the reboot. I hated the film. I know that Lee Dramdamski ranked this movie number 5. This is number 9 for me. And I think it's most fans it's number 9 because it sucked. Because this is no one needed. This movie was not needed to be remade. Why was this movie even remade with a lame shitty CGI? And why this movie, I would give it a pass if Jackie Earle Haley and his shitty lame, his shitty lame voice, I think he kind of stole it from Joker, The Dark Knight, when Heath Ledger says, "Look at me," and he says to Thomas Dekker, "Look at me." He stole everything. He stole everything. This is just horrible movie, terrible, shitty, horrible piece of shit movie. I hate this movie. I have hated it. And during mid 2019, I actually bought the movie for the collection, and it was kind of, so-so. It kind of was. I was kind of in the middle, give it a positive review. But every time I rewatch this film, I see its flaws. I see how horrible it is. So fuck this movie. That's number 9. Fuck this movie. Fuck the hell with this movie. I'm gonna just show you now the box, So number 8, you already know I rented, but number 8 is number 5, The Dream Child. 1989. I already rented this film and I explained what was wrong. I think that Robert Englund's lackluster performance, and he looks like a fucking dead zombie in the film, or he even acts like he doesn't want to be in the film. He also, the movie was rushed, was directed by Stephen Hopkins. He did Predator 2. I'm still waiting for the poster. I hope I do get a poster someday. But yes, he directed Predator 2, my favorite sequel of all time. And like I said, it was the part 5. It was shitty. I mean, the scenes, the death scenes are comedian. They're a joke. I did like the guy that played Dan Hessel. He played Dan. I think it was Dan Jordan. I liked him. I like it of that screen, but that's the only thing that was really good over the film. But the guy that plays Unborn Child sucked. The story sucked. Whole fucking movie was just really feels like another lame street, And like I said, of all 7 movies, this is the worst. The part 5 is the worst. It has no action. It has nothing in the film. And I think that Lisa Wilcox should be more tougher than she was in part 4, but she wasn't even close tougher. But I still like Lisa Wilcox, so the only pros I can give is that Alice Jones is the only one in the whole franchise. She never dies, so I'm glad that she was surviving. I know she did. I think she did die in the comic book, but not in the movie, so that's count. She didn't die in the movie, so that's a really good one. But the everything in the movie just does not work. It felt rushed. There are only three death scenes, and they just don't work. Erica Henderson is not good acting material anyway. She was terrible in the movie. Even Lisa Wilcox, I mean, Alice Johnson's friends were terrible. They're all awful and horrible. Just number five does not work. It just did not work. It was, it came out as the same time as Jason Goes to Hell and the same time as Halloween 5. And fans were so disappointed with Halloween 5. Even Jason Takes Manhattan was disappointment. And the Nightmare on Elm Street 5 just did not work. And I just dislike the film, but I don't hate it like I hated the remake. But I just don't like the film. So that's number 8. I don't remember anything. I didn't care about the guy that played Mark, or when he was killed in a comic book. I forgot. I still don't remember who the fuck was that played Super Freddy, because that was not Robert Englund. I don't give a fuck about it. I don't care. Fuck that movie. But that's... Sorry, I accidentally kicked my camera. But that's mostly it. So number 5 to me, the second worst in the franchise. That's all it's gonna be. Number 7, you probably wondering, but number 7 will actually be A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. I already said, what was my problem with the film. You can watch my review. I don't hate part 2. I think it's still a good, decent film. It's just not for me. I even don't have a poster for this movie because I'm not a huge fan. I like the poster. The poster art is fantastic. Just there's no crow in the movie. They're actually a parakeet, which they both explode in the film. I'm glad that Gu Gallagher is still alive that plays Mr. Walsh. But what I really hated it was the fucking lame music score from Christopher Young, and that shitty music score when I watched previous month. Actually, I watched it in August. End of August, I watched part 2. So, yeah, I still remember that shitty music score in the pool, that's in the pool scene. I hated the pool massacre. I mean, it's like a gunman shooting those innocent kids. How many school shootings do you already have? I heard now it was in Russia already. This is one of the stuff that I dislike the film, and one of the reasons why it breaks the rules from the original. And even Robert Englund, I think it's actually his least favorite performance. But beside of that, I did like Grady. I was not happy he was killed, but I liked Grady. I liked Mark Patton's performance as Jesse, but I didn't like, the pedophile in the film, the gay stuff. I didn't like it. I didn't like when Marshall Bell, he was okay. He did a good job as the coach, but I didn't like it. I can see his naked ass, or he was like ready to rape Jesse. I just don't like that. But still, part 2 is just my least favorite, with part 5 and the remake, but just not nearly as bad as part 5, The Dream Child, or the remake, 2010 remake. It's not nearly as bad. I know some people even put part 2 higher in the franchise, in the top 3 favorite films, or even it's their favorite. They even put part 2 above this film. Yeah, believe me, they did. But like I said, I'm not gonna put part 2 about this film, or the movies that I love. But I like parts of part 2. I like that long Touch Me All Night Long. I don't remember that woman that sings with Jesse dancing. I like that song. I liked Kim Myers as Lisa. She was hot. But like part 5, it has no action. It has nothing in the movie. They should have at least more action, at least more fight into it. Nothing was. And Wes Craven disliked this film because he didn't like it that Freddy Krueger goes and he manipulates the main protagonist. He didn't like the script. and was directed by Jack Shoulder. Later he directed The Hidden, which is much better film than part two. And yeah, it just didn't work. I forgot who wrote this movie. Um, David Chaskin who wrote this movie. I just thought the story just wasn't fit to the movie. I know it came out at the same time as Friday 13 Part 5, the New Beginning. They just both on the same level. It just did not work, in my opinion. So yeah, to me, that's number 7. I'm gonna change the camera a little bit. That's a little better. Still better. Sorry about the camera, me fixing. Number 6, the guy that gave me dislike, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. I think it's right there. Freddy's Dead. I think will be this one about Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. So yeah, this movie is going to be number 6. I like the film. A lot of people hate it because it's goofy. I like Leslie Dean in the film. I like the actress played Maggie Burroughs a lot. I like Japet Koto. He was in Alien. He was in The Running Man. I reviewed The Running Man. He was in Live and Let Die. James Bond. I reviewed the film. And I like him in Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. I like the film. It's different from the rest of the film, but I like it even in 3D. I like part 6. But watch my review if you want to hear more my thoughts on the film. But yeah, so that's actually number 6 is number 6 for me. I just really like the film a lot. So yeah, I like the action scenes. Even it's a fun sequel, fun movie. I was laughing my ass off with the film, but I like it. I didn't take it that much serious. I had no problems with Freddy's Dead. At least it's better than Part 5, The Dream Child. At least it's not boring. I know that guy gave me dislike. I don't know why, but maybe because he hates the film or disagree with me because I said it's a fun film, it's a solid film. Because to me it is. But that's number 6. Yeah, I forgot to mention, I do like the songs by Goo Goo Dolls, Awake. And I like by the end of the credits that song by, I forgot that song at the end. But it's on my review, so, because I reviewed like a week or 2 weeks ago, I reviewed the film, so I kind of forgot. But yeah, I like the song on the end. Number 5, you're gonna be shocked, but I already said in my review. And number 5 is going to be Part 4, A Nightmare on Street for the Dream Master. Poster right there. I'm gonna show you. Fuck it, I'm just gonna show you the poster. No, so yeah. So number 4. So number 5 is number 4 for me, the Dream Master. So yeah, one of the reasons why that movie is actually more. Sorry about that. Why that movie is actually number 5. I do like the songs by Go West. Don't Fall Asleep. You know, I have a Zelda film. I do love Lisa Wilcox as Alice Johnson. I do love the fight scenes in the church. Just my biggest problem by the film was Tuesday night. Kristen was useless in the whole film. And when Nancy, she saved Kincaid and Joey and Kristen, you know, it was like for nothing because they go and kill them off. It was still ballsy, but at the same time was still horrible in my opinion, and that just should not be in the fucking film. But yeah, the number 5, you know, I love the film to death, but The next four movies I actually prefer more. Um, but like I said, I love that came out 1988. I love that was directed by Rennie Harlin. Just that it will be my third favorite movie of his. The first one will be Cliffhanger. The second one will be the Blue Sea. Then the third one will be this movie, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, the remaster. Yeah, surprised I put Die Hard 2. You know, I love Die Hard to death. I'm a huge fan of Die Hard films. Um, but I'm not that big fan of Die Hard 2. I'm more fan of Die Hard 1, 3, and 4. But that's just me. Um, but yeah, number 4, it has some good, gory, good death scene sequences. But it's just that's just it, you know. Um, it's I think it's still a criminal underrated, just like Part 6, but it's better than Part 6. I still gonna take it. I love the film to death. Love the music scores. Love the from Craig Safan. I love the music score for the film. Or when Alice she throws her in and you see the reflection of her, she becomes a badass. I do love that. I don't like the time loop that much in the film. Even though Robert Eggers said it's his favorite film, it's his favorite time loop. I don't like it that much. But yeah, but that's just number 5. Number 4 is actually Freddy vs. Jason. I reviewed that movie when I did in August when I actually was talking about Friday the 13th films. So you already know my thoughts on this film. I love Laurie Campbell. She's my favorite final girl in Friday the 13th. Even though she was more nemesis of Freddy, she also survived Jason, so that's awesome. But yes, I prefer this movie. It's actually the story continues when this movie part 3. You know, this movie when this movie actually ended. You know, part 3 when part 3 ended. So yeah, it continued the story. Laurie Campbell's my favorite heroine of all time. She's also Monica Keenan did a fantastic job. It came out 2003, the same year, you know, as Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think this movie was released before Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so that was still awesome. I'm glad that we got this movie back in 2003. That was my favorite year. Because the time, you know, I was partying a lot. I had a lot of fun. So yeah, Freddy vs. Jason was number 3, but I actually put it number 4. I think it made number 7 on the ranking of Friday 13 films, if I remember. Because this is actually number 4. I know I said it's number 3. I should have said number 4. Because the number 3 movies that I really enjoy and love to death. But yeah, that's number 4. That actually, to me, Freddy vs. Jason is number 4, because even though Freddy kills only one guy, he still kills one guy. But yeah, it's just awesome. I know that Jason does most of the killing, but Freddy manipulates him. So yes, I love Freddy vs. Jason to death. Whoever wins, we lose. So I love that. So the last 3 films, which I can show is number 3. My third favorite film is Wes Craven'S New Nightmare. Yes, I have the poster of the film. I know I have the poster of part 6, but I forgot to show you. But yes, I have a poster. You know, when he looks like more menacing. I love this movie dearly to death. One of my favorite horror films of all time. This is how we do a film. This is how we do actually the film. And like Wes Craven stated displeasure with the sequels. He said they're not actually true to the original, the movie that he meant to do. So he wanted to do New Nightmare supposed to be this movie, you know, but it wasn't, you know, this movie. But New Line Cinema actually did not approve until they killed off Freddy Krueger. So Robert Englund returns. He plays himself. Heather Langenkamp, she did a great job. This is a really horror movie. And Freddy, this movie is a jaws of Satan, a real Satan. And really scared the hell out of me, this film. So yeah, the New Nightmare. I did a huge long review. It's actually one of the best '90s horror films of all time. I thought New Nightmare is actually a masterpiece. Um, Even in the special features, the problem with sequels in two words, that's what they actually talk about, when Wes Craven was talking about what was the problem with the sequels, and he didn't mean part three, but the rest of the sequels. Um, yeah, but New Nightmare to me is number three. It's not number seven, Lee. It's number three for me. Drum Dance, it's not number seven, like you said, it's number three. Number seven is part two for me. And number nine is a shitty reboot or shitty remake for me. So yeah. So Wes Craven'S New Nightmare is number three. Number two, you already know my second favorite is actually this movie right here. I have a great poster, on the t-shirt. So that's my second favorite film. I have the poster, I'm gonna show better poster. But I love Kristen this movie, the knives, the Freddy's glow, the skin Kate, that will be Joey. Looks like more, he looks like more Ira, Will Stanton, he looks like more Will Stanton. I think that's Joey, in my opinion. That will be Tarin. Love this movie to death. I love Jennifer Rubin. I love the actress Lisa Penelope Sudrow. She played Jennifer Caulfield. This is your big time, Jennifer. Welcome to prime time, bitch. I just love that, Love Robert Englund's performance. I love this movie to death. That's why I put it back in the frame. I love this movie to death. My favorite horror film of all time. Yes, one of my favorite horror films of all time. My favorite horror sequel of all time. I just love this film. This is it, Jennifer. Your big screen TV. Welcome to prime time, bitch. Directed by Chuck Russell. Written and directed by Chuck Russell, Bruce Wagner, Frank Darabont, and of course Chuck Russell, who also wrote, directed, and Wes Craven. I think Wes Craven was producing this movie, so I love this movie to death. It's my favorite horror film of all time. But yeah, that's my second favorite in the franchise. I know that Cody Leach, he ranked the film, he said it's actually his number one favorite. He ranked this movie high. I think this movie deserves it. This is a true sequel to original. But my favorite to all is gonna be this one. So that's number one, the original. I did a 1 hour long review for why it's so epic, this film, why it's so horror. One of the best. Heather Langenkamp is the best unique heroine of all time. This movie kicks the living shit out of the remake. It kicks a lot of the shitty horror films nowadays. I'm always gonna be fan. I don't care if it's 40 years old. It's a badass film. It's actually 30 years old film. Still a badass film. Badass film. One of the best one. So yeah, that's my number one. Always gonna be my number one. I'm not gonna change it. I did actually put sometime this movie, but this is gonna be my number one favorite horror film. I love both of the movies to death. I love both of them. But the original was gonna be the film that I saw the first, so it's gonna be always the number one. I know I should put this movie, but I love this movie a lot more. That's just me. Yeah, that's my ranking. So if we go from number 9 to number 1, number 9 is a remake, number 8 is actually part 5, The Dream Child. Number 7 is A Nightmare on Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Number 6 is Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. Number 5 is actually A Nightmare on Street 4, The Dream Master. I have a poster right there, So that's number 5. Number 4 is Freddy's vs. Jason. Number 3 is Wes Craven'S New Nightmare. Number 2 is A Nightmare on Street 3, Dream Warriors. And number 1, you see the big poster right here, the original, the only one, my favorite horror film of all time, always gonna be my favorite. I love Johnny Depp. I love Tina in this movie, played by Amanda Weiss. I love Heather Langenkamp playing Nancy. I love Johnny Depp as Glenn Lance. I love Wes Craven's direction. I love the song on the Nightmare. I love everything about this film. Everything, this movie has everything. It's a badass. It has a great action. She puts booby traps. She goes kicks the living shit out of Freddy. She's a badass. And that's one of the reasons this movie is my favorite of all time. Also, I don't mind the finale on the end. Touches me. But yeah, but that's my ranking of a Nightmare Street franchise. Thanks for watching. Take care. And see you soon. In the next video, I'm out. Peace. Bye bye.